From MontanaSports.com, this is MTN Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Extra on a Saturday night. I'm Tom Wiley. Thanks for joining us. With district tournaments wrapping up all over Montana, it's fitting that we look at one of the most successful programs in state history. MTN's Luke Shelton takes a closer look at a coach who won 11 district titles in 15 years while building a dynasty in Class C as part of our Play Like a Girl series.
Hey everyone, Luke Shelton here in Butte for the latest edition of MTN Sports Play Like a Girl series. And over these past years, I've gotten to know Montana Tech head women's basketball coach Jeff Graham as an incredibly energetic and infinitely positive guy.
So proud of you guys!
But before arriving in the mining city, he helped build a Class C girls basketball dynasty in Belt. Graham's teams were a juggernaut last decade as they claimed 6 Class C crowns between 2012 and 2020, orchestrating a three-peat between 2012 and 2014, and then repeating in 2016 and 17. No Class C girls program has more titles than Belt, and Graham emphasized that it took an entire community to make that happen. That's some pretty sustained success you have there. What do you chalk it up to?
Just great kids. A lot of the kids as parents were Belt people. They put in a lot of time from the elementary. Too many people in Belt to name, too many families, but a lot of the families did a great job of getting them there. It was just a group effort of people.
But with all those championships, it might be easy to overlook the tremendous amount of pressure that Graham and his teams felt during that stretch of dominance.
You know, it was tough. It was kind of stressful at times, and I think the year the streak got broke in 15, you know, it was almost a relief for some of the girls. We had one senior that year, and the other girls kind of got to refocus.
But despite the enormous pressure, each of those 6 championship teams was uniquely meaningful to Graham.
Well, yeah, they're all very special. You know, a lot of them were with similar kids. Each one of them was special where they were at, and, you know, each team was different.
That incredible run with the Huskies vaulted Graham into the college ranks back in 2022 when he became head coach of the Montana Tech women's basketball program. And after 2 rebuilding years, the Ordigers have been enjoying a breakthrough season, putting together their most successful campaign in nearly a decade. Reaching this point has required effort and patience.
You know, trusting what you're doing, trusting your kids. We played a lot of young kids. We threw a lot of young kids in the fire, and so happy for them, the success they've had and how unselfish they are. It's been great to see.
And while he's now a long way from Belt, his current team has some pretty deep Class C roots, with 5 of his players hailing from small town Montana. The way he sees it, great players can come from anywhere.
You know, just keep adding those Class C kids, and, you know, there's just great players all over, you know, in Montana, small town to the big towns, and yeah, there's just good basketball all over Montana.
In Butte, Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
Well, just 70 miles up I-15, the Carroll College women are building a Frontier Conference dynasty of their own behind a coaching staff that's built to connect with players. MTN's Johnny Walker has more with the Saints mentors.
Ranked number 19 in the country right now, Carroll College women's basketball is chasing its 6th Frontier Conference championship in 8 years. And behind the team's success this year is a coaching staff made up entirely of former college ball players. Carroll head coach Rochelle Sayers and her assistants all know from experience what it means to be a college athlete.
Well, I think it's really helpful to have assistant coaches that have been around the game, that have been in the grind. They understand the travel, they understand what it takes to be successful at this level, and they can relate to the players.
Well, Sayers played her college ball at Division I Weber State. Many of Sayers' assistants are actually former Carroll players. That list includes Hannah Dean, who was named a first-team All-American as a senior playing under Sayers in 2019.
I absolutely believe that. Going through the program, knowing the X's and O's, I think just being a student athlete, you really know how hard it can be. And I remember the long hours that I spent here. A lot of time in the gym, a lot of time in the classroom, and so just being that support system for them is really special.
Yeah, 100%. They know what it's like to be a college athlete and they know the pressure and the expectations, and so I think it definitely helps them to sympathize with us and helps us, and it helps them become better coaches.
But Addie says her coaches aren't just understanding a student-athlete life. They're also what makes Carroll women's basketball such a special program.
Both of them are just amazing. Hannah is super empathetic. She's always there, always in the gym, ready for us to ask for extra shots. She's always meeting with people, trying to get us better. And then Coach Sayers obviously is, the heart and soul of this team. She keeps us going and, feeds us meals, does whatever necessary to bring this team together. And it's just been a great duo between the two.
Reporting in Helena, Johnny Walker, MTN Sports.
In January, Montana and Montana State split their rivalry matchup with the Grizzly men and Bobcat women, earning down-to-the-wire victories. Similar drama was in store on Saturday when the matchup shifted to Bozeman. MTN's Alec Boffinger brings us courtside for the Brawl of the Wild rematch.
Good evening, folks. Alec Boffinger here inside Worthington Arena for round 2 of the Cat Grizz rivalry on the hardwood. Now, the Bobcat women and Grizzly men come in tops in the Big Sky Conference, and both are looking for season sweeps of their rival. Bobcat women haven't lost since December 7th, and early on, MSU pounding the paint. Dylan Phillip with a nice move in the lane to free herself for the easy buckets. And how about Caitlin Martin and Addison Harris running the pick and roll to perfection as Harris lays it in. The freshman from Washington giving the Cats some good minutes today. Left all alone underneath for the bucket here. Montana State was firing on all cylinders offensively. Natalie Picton hits the brakes, spins around, and kisses it off the glass. The Bobcat lead growing, but Montana trying to stop the bleeding. Danny Barch finds Tyler McClement Hall, who cans the long-range bomb. And then McClement Hall going to work at the top of the key. Isolation pull-up falls through, but the Lady Grizz fighting an uphill battle this afternoon. Esme Morales finds Martin for the smooth foul line jumper. The Cats staying aggressive on the offensive glass. Phillip corrals it and finds Lexi Deedon underneath for the bucket. Montana State essentially put this game on ice in the opening half. Morales reins in the 3-ball, and the Montana State women make it 18 consecutive wins, a single-season program record, and it ties the longest winning streak in Bobcat history. In Bozeman, Alec Boffinger, MTN Sports. Montana's men come in winners of 8 straight, and they were clicking early. Kai Johnson with some beautiful footwork in the lane to free himself for the layup. Grizz built a double-digit lead, but back come the Cats. 3-ball here from Max Agbongpolo. Momentum continuing to build for MSU. Bryce Zephyr with a slick feed to Tyler Patterson on the back cut. He flushes it with 2 hands. The Grizz shot over 50% from the floor in the first half. Triple from Tajon Sawyer, and Montana holds a 9-point lead at the break. MSU trying to cut into that deficit in the second half. Sam Lekalot buries the corner 3 here. And then Lekalot shows he can put it on the deck too. Hoop and the harm for the Wyoming product, and it's a 3-point game. But Montana had an answer for every MSU run. Malik Moore splashes one through from deep for the Grizz, and then Sawyer finds Johnson out of the double team. He knocks down the long ball as the Montana men make it 9 straight and a season sweep of Montana State. In Bozeman, Alec Boffinger, MTN Sports.
Still to come, a trip around the state as Class C teams chase district basketball titles. Sports Extra. We'll be right back.
There's more action online at montanasports.com.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by montanasports.com.
The postseason madness begins for Montana's smaller classifications this week as the road to state runs through district and divisional tournaments. We'll start our tour of championship matchups with the 13th seed in Frenchtown. Sealy Swan and St. Regis boys playing for the District 13C championship in Frenchtown. Blackhawks get on the board first. Tyler Haynes banks in the lefty runner, but St. Regis' Connor Lulis had a monster game. Look at the spin move here and the bucket to put the Tigers up by 1. Moments later, it's Lulis again, this time from 3. This one was tight throughout. Sealy Swan up by 1, make it 3. Another runner from Haynes. Third quarter winding down. Tigers' Aiden Rail gets the friendly roll. We're tied at 30 heading into the fourth quarter. Sealy Swan's Derek Bravold goes to work in the post, and that'll put the Blackhawks up 37-34. But Lulis was too much down the stretch. After he tied it with an and one, this tough step back puts St. Regis up 39-37, and the Tigers are your 13C champions. 42-40 the final.
Drummond and Charlo squaring off in the 13C Girls Championship. Trojans taking control early. Kimber Parsons going to work inside. And then it's Charlie Klein knocking down a triple. Drummond up 10 early in the second quarter. Charlo not going away, though. Celie McDonald with the hoop and the foul. She would make the free throw. Maisie McDonald working through traffic now. Charlo back within 3, but Parsons just too much. She drives baseline, hits the runner, and Drummond goes on to win it. They're your 13C champions.
Will Charlton here at CMR High School for the District 10C basketball title games as the Cascade girls face off with Augusta and Cascade's boys take on Power Dutton Brady. This has the signs of a game that wouldn't be close early on as Cascade started up 20-1. Augusta would slowly but surely cut into that deficit though. Baskets by Serenity Yorth and Hattie Orem would help to all of a sudden make this a 26-20 game at halftime. Although the Badgers showed their ferociousness in the second half once again. Aubrey Hamlet grabs the offensive board, cleans up the miss, and she'll put in the 2. Ball movement leads to Ashlyn Course being open on the opposite wing. She takes a dribble in and nails the triple. And then it's Maisie Hastings delivering from distance, and the Badgers are feeling good. Cascade fended off Augusta in the second half and takes the girls' District 10C crown 61-50. Badgers still out there, but this time it's the boys, and they're facing the Titans of Power Dutton Brady. Titans get rolling from downtown. It's Aiden Reeves sinking it. Check out this sweet baseline drive and land for Tanner Vick. And how about another sweet drive to the rim? This time it's Caden Jorgensen who finishes with the foul. You don't want to leave Jorgensen open. That's a mistake, and he makes PDB pay. That's money. Defense was a big factor for the Badgers in this one, and Trent Lane says no, no, no. 0.9 seconds left in the third, and Tyler Lane beats the buzzer, giving Cascade a 9-point advantage. Cascade runs the 10C in boys as well, and the Badgers beat the Titans 57-43. In Great Falls, Will Charlton, MTN Sports.
Complete scores and pairings from all the district basketball tournaments can be found at montanasports.com. And next week, you'll be able to find plenty of coverage from the divisional tournaments as well as high school teams around the Treasure State punch their tickets to the state tournament. Just ahead, the battle for Frontier Conference supremacy. Providence and Montana Tech battling for an outright league title. Stay with us.
Follow Montana Sports on Facebook and join the conversation with fans across the state.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better end to the Frontier Conference basketball season. 2 teams tied atop the standings with an outright regular season title on the line on Saturday. MTN's Luke Shelton takes us to the mining city for Providence, Montana Tech.
Hey everyone, Luke Shelton here in Butte as the Frontier Conference regular season comes to a close, and high stakes and a whole lot to be determined as Montana Tech hosts Providence in what should be a great finale. Let's get to those highlights. Let's start with the women's game where the winner is ensured the number 2 seed and a first-round bye at the upcoming Frontier tournament. And the Argos rolling in the first half. Ashley Maldonado sizes up the shot, fires and knocks down the tray to make it a 7-point lead. And now here's Kiana Salavea and Monique Carter getting in on the 3-point action, and Providence leads by double digits. But here comes Tech, and check out the effort from the freshman Hallie Neibauer as she gathers and drops in her own putback, and then Kaya Wasson buries a 3 to keep cutting into the lead. And now Hadley Humphreys gets the bucket and the foul, and before the half, Liv Longren drops in the jumper to trim the Argos lead to 1. Now flash forward to the end of the third, and how about Aubrey Rodemacher beating the buzzer and banking in the 3 to give Tech the lead. But Providence pulls away again, and now Carter calls game as the Argos win 67-59, and they'll be the number 2 seed at the Frontier tournament, and Tech number 4. Now on to the men's game to determine the Frontier Conference champion and the number 1 tournament seed. Number 15 Tech looking to make it 4 in a row, and first half it's all Orediggers as Michael Ure makes it rain, and Tech already up up by 13 points. Argo's answer as Mike Wright Jr. gets the friendly bounce, but the Ordigers simply throwing a party from beyond the arc as Levi Torgerson snipes one in, and then a little later it's Keely Bake getting in on the fun, and now Carson Peffer decides to join in the three-point party, and just before the end of the half it's Josh Kulonja showing the depth of this roster, and it's an absolutely dominant championship performance from Tech. The Ordigers win via landslide 83-52, and after dropping 4 straight games, Tech wins its last 2 to claim its 4th straight Frontier title.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, honestly, especially after the last couple weeks that we went through. Next man up mentality. We had some guys step up big in big moments, but just really proud of the culture of this program. I mean, this was a culture win for us.
And here's a look at the final Frontier men's standings with Tech and Providence set to receive first-round byes at the Frontier tournament. And on the women's side, Rocky Mountain College held on to clinch first place, and the Batlin Bears and Argos are your top 2 tournament seeds. In Butte, Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
When we come back, after years of grinding, a Great Falls wrestling official is realizing his dream. Stay with us.
Download our free app and take MTN Sports with you. Just search Montana Sports in the App Store or Google Play.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
For years, Great Falls native and wrestling official Conrad Duffy has climbed the college ranks, waiting for his life-changing opportunity, and in just a few short weeks, he will fulfill his lifelong dream. MTN's Will Charlton explains.
Conrad Duffy is one of the more well-renowned officials in the sport of wrestling that Montana has to offer. So much so that even the NCAA views him as a top 20 referee in the country.
You know, to get to be considered out of 458 of us in the country to be regarded in the top 20 in the country, to get to make those calls is just tremendous.
Because of this, Duffy was chosen to officiate at the NCAA Division I Championships in March, the first time he's ever been selected for college wrestling's biggest stage. He said it's humbling and that it's a testament to the Montana wrestling community he gets to do this.
Our Montana wrestling community is such a tight-knit group. To have the opportunity to, go and referee on that stage is just tremendous.
Duffy said he's now the second ever official from Montana to be selected for the NCAA Championships. It was an emotional and overwhelming feeling when he first found out, he said.
I was actually at work and got an email from the NCAA, and I had done the Division II tournament. I've been doing college wrestling for 7 years, and I've done 6 Division II national tournaments. But to get that letter and see that you were chosen to do, the Division I national championships was absolutely overwhelming, man. It brought tears to my eyes for sure.
Duffy just wrapped up officiating at this past weekend state tournament down in Billings, and he said that between January and March is an incredibly busy time for him with lots of travel involved.
For example, like last weekend, flew out on Thursday, had Ohio State, Minnesota on Friday night, jump in a car and drive from Columbus to State College, have Penn State and Maryland on Sunday, and then get on an airplane Monday morning and come home.
He mostly officiates in the Big Ten Conference, which includes some of the top collegiate programs in the country. And he said that Montana State Meet is one of the best he gets to do, even with the events he's done at the college level.
It rivals a lot of the bigger events in the country, just because we've got 10,000 people in here all day today cheering, and it's loud, and you got great table workers and lots of action. I mean, this event for sure helped prepare me for what was to come.
Duffy called it the ultimate reward to get to officiate at the Division I Championship, which take place March 20th through the 22nd in Philadelphia. In Great Falls, Will Charlton, MTN Sports.
That's all the time we have for this edition of Sports Extra on a Saturday night. And as always, the conversation continues online at MontanaSports.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week with more Sports Extra.